Also, lack of participation in decision making. Inadequate defense of our profession by our leaders. What do I mean by inadequate defense of our profession by our leaders? If you study it very well, the lawyers, wherever any judge has made a decision or a ruling,
noble colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and viewers, good evening and Happy New Year. Standing before you is Emma Okas Wike, a fellow of the institution and the incumbent second vice president of our institution, who has held several positions in this institution. In 2006, I was elected the Assistant National Public Secretary. In 2008, I was elected the National Public Secretary. In 2010, I was elected the Chairman of Rivers State Branch. In 2014, I was elected as an unofficial member of the institution and was nicknamed the House Leader, where I contributed immensely. And by the grace of God and by your support, you elected me as the second Vice President in 2016 to 2018. I am here to support the position. I am vying for the position of the first Vice President of the institution. And the position of the first Vice President is a supporting and assisting position because you have a captain. But my idea is that we have to work together as a team. My position is that I will be able to advise the President, the management, and the Council to see that estate surveying and valuation practice is visible and popular in Nigeria and beyond, where practitioners' welfare are paramount and professionalism is rewarded. I want to see the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers as a profession, as a professional body in Nigeria, without neglecting the need for continuous professional development of members whose program will be emulated by other professions. We cannot be playing the second feather for too long. How am I going to do this? Let me also say, as the first Vice President, your duty is already enshrined in the Constitution. And we have, as the first Vice President, you are to oversee the faculties. And there is another conventional responsibility you have. And that conventional responsibility is that you are the chairman of the membership committee. And membership is key to every profession. And my idea is that I will have 3 strategies in order to improve on members. One is membership development and extension. The second one will be membership welfare. And the third one is capacity building of members. How am I going to do the first one? Is to have an aggressive drive of membership. And my intention, with the permission of the President and the management and the Council, is to carry out career counseling session by young students, beginning with the secondary school and to tertiary institutions, sensitizing them and educating them on the possibility and prospects of being an estate surveyor and valuer. We all know our duty is to encourage them to come to this noble profession. The other thing I'm going to do for membership development is to encourage our probationers and our graduates to also let them not be too long in that category. What I did in Rivers State when I was the Rivers State branch is to put a policy that no probationer will be in that cadre for 3 years. If I'm elected as the first Vice President, which I know you are going to give me your vote, I am going to replicate that at the national level. I have worked with the branch chairman as the second Vice President, and that is the advantage I have, because all the branch chairmen know me, and when I give instruction, they will know that the instruction I'm giving them is to help them grow their branches. So I'm going to work with them because we're already working together and we know ourselves. It's better to deal with a person you know than somebody you don't know, because they are not going to give you the cooperation. And I want to say, on the welfare of members, let my noble colleagues, on the welfare of members, my intention is to have a syndicate session, a strategic session, where we will have all the stakeholders through the head of practice. We have head of practice in almost all the branches, but we have to have head of practice at the national. We are going to have a head of practice section where we are going to discuss the issue of welfare of our members. It is not very good that our pupil surveyor and associates are paid peanuts, but we should be able to encourage them to also contribute to the growth of the firm and let them know that they have a future in the firm. Because if somebody has a future, he will contribute immensely. On the other side of capacity building, as the chairman of, as the person in charge of faculty, it is my intention to ensure that we support the faculties, ensure that they bring out programs and projects that will make them to do their work. My intention also, with the permission of the council, is to also create a channel of discussion, a channel of communication between the National Assembly. We already have 2 senators at the Senate who will use their position to ensure that we get enrolled into decisions made by the National Assembly. We should also have a channel of communication with the Federal Executive Council. Ladies and gentlemen, noble colleagues, it's my intention to move this institution forward. Let us come together to make NIESV bigger, better and more beneficial to all. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, ESV Wike. Question time, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, noble colleagues, I remain EMJ Fine, UNEG, EMJ Fine Consulting. Personally, I believe in a digital, strong, and selfless NIESV. And when I say digital, I mean dynamic NIESV, strong in terms of fighting, especially the outside, anything outside the profession. A typical example is the case of asset declaration. It's something that we would have been better united to fight, for instance, in terms of valuation by estate surveyors and valuers. Selfless. There is need for selflessness in NIESV. Not a case of caucus here and there when you talk of jobs within the caucus and all that. Now, one big problem in NIESV in terms of achieving this is...
Excuse me, is this a question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One big problem in terms of achieving this is conflict of interest. And here is my question. I've seen an aspect of conflict of interest now outside the popular one, and that is in terms of what I have now as a question to the contestant, and that is, are they tribalized estate surveyors and valuers? That is another aspect of conflict of interest that we have. The 2 contestants, are you the tribalized estate surveyors and valuers, especially looking at the past, your antecedent? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Chairman of Lagos.
I'm allowed to ask again. Thank you, Chairman, moderators. Noble colleagues, I have 2 questions, and I'll try to be very snappy. The first Vice President, one of his constitutional responsibilities is overseeing the faculties. Right now, only if you are a blind estate surveyor and valuer, majority of the faculties are very active. I'm not bothered about what is happening now. I'm bothered about, or I want to know where you want to push the faculties to. Because there's an underground debate, in case you don't know. Some faculties want to be proper working groups to have a life of their own. So I want to know your position on that. Secondly, as the first Vice President, you are also the Chairman of Membership. And some of us are aware that currently, the Ease of Doing Business initiative, chaired by the Vice President, some of the key international valuation firms are actually making inroads and having meetings in Asu Rock. And what the message there is that the system locally is such that it's not flexible enough for those that come from abroad or even here to be members. And these are people that want to bring resources in. So my question is, based on the system both candidates are aware of in membership now, what instruments, what measures are you going to introduce to be able to negate, prevent what I see as an onslaught very soon if you don't do anything?
Thank you very much. Can you move the microphone to the gentleman there? Please give it to him. Introduce yourself and then ask your questions. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Osato Osawai, Fellow, Chairman of the Plant and Equipment Faculty of the institution. The Chairman of the branch has answered my queries on the way they are going to deal with the faculties. and the issue of inroad of foreign players into the practice. So I will just defer to my colleagues sitting here.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chairman of Session. My name is Sohiri Kajitan. I'm the Chairman of Imo State Branch.
Sohiri, nice to have you here.
Yes, thank you. My question to the two contestants has to do with the strength and quality of membership. Because by their role, they are going to oversee the admission of people into full membership of this institution. And most of us who have been in the membership committee understand some of the embarrassments we passed through. The earlier contestants, at the level of second vice, had told us here that if we improve our quality, improve the content, that we will be able to create opportunities for ourselves. Else, we create gap, because nature abhors vacuum. Now that you know that the people that are coming as members are not properly finished, and sometimes, embarrassingly, we allow things to go because some people want it that way. What are you going to put in place to stop this? So that you will be...
3 are Yorubas, 1 is from Akwa Ibom, no person from Delta. You can go and confirm. In my Asaba branch, I have 2 Igbos and 1 Urobo. No one from my area. You can go and confirm. I believe equality. Once you have quality and not this one, you should be treated accordingly. I don't work based on where I come from. Most of my friends, they are not from where I come from. So I will encourage that we should work as a team, take the profession as one. That's the only way we can grow it. But by the time we look at it from your ethnic coloration and not this one, we are not moving forward.
Please, can the gentlemen outside come into the hall? Please.
How to grow the faculties. I'm aware that there are some faculties that are doing fine. There are others that are having some challenges. They are having challenges because they have some programs that are not being looked into in their own perspective. So my intention was I take over as the chairman is to invite all the chairmen of the faculties and have a discussion with them and create a sort of a communication system to reach others so that we know what are the problems and what are the things we can do to find a solution. If I say as a chairman or as the first vice, only me will do it, that is not possible. You must remember my motto. My motto is, yes, we can. We is not only a last of us, but we must work together to move this institution to the next level. Then the third aspect is the growth of membership without reducing the quality and so on. I've said it when I was delivering. But I've discovered that it's our approach. Because if the people are well educated as to what is CA, because CA is very simple. Once you pass the exam and you come for membership, to prepare CA, if you don't know that to prepare CA, just tell us a practical example of what you have done where you were in practice. You can do it within even a month. It's not a difficult something. But where the people don't know the difference between CA and thesis, then they have problems. So I intend to educate them, and you know that within a short time we shall do. Then the aspect of emotion.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. My
Thank
second
you very much.
The other aspect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for handing over to me.
We have ESV Ima Okas.
On the first question of
Wike.
the tribalization, I want to say clearly that I am not a tribalistic person. If I am, I wouldn't have been voted as the second vice president. If I am, I wouldn't have been voted as the House leader, because the vote cut across all the ethnic group. So I am a full-fledged Nigerian man. I don't belong to anybody, but I'm for everybody. Let me also say that even in Rivers State, where I come from, I was the chairman up to 2014. And when I finished my tenure, I handed over to Dapo Olaya, who is a Yoruba man. So if I'm a tribalistic man, I wouldn't have handed over to him. And knowingly quite well that he even contested with somebody from River State. But because I am a Nigerian man who believe in quality, who believe in service, who believe in those that can do it, I handed over to him. And let me say, in our last election, I also played a major role to ensure that the quality of people counts. So I am not a private person. On the issue of faculty, my intention is to, as the chairman or as the coordinator of faculties, my intention is to ensure that the faculties go on programs, not just only in Nigeria. We should be able to have foreign partners, foreign partners that will come and also help us and teach us on some of the things we are going to do. But what we'll do is to try as much as possible to strengthen the faculty by giving them a partial independence where they can also go and source for funds so that they will be able to carry out their assignment. On the issue of the enroll to our profession, our idea is that we should try as much as possible to train our members to make them qualify so that anybody that is giving a valuation report, wherever that valuation report goes to, will be internationally accepted. So if we do that by giving our members quality training, I am sure that most of the jobs that the foreigners are coming to take from us will not be so. But as the first vice president, I will stand with the institution to ensure that our job is being protected. What will you do to stop admitting members that are not qualified? First, it's very simple. What we are going to do is to maintain the quality. The assignment, the qualification for you to be admitted is there. And what I will do is to encourage the probationers and the graduates that are coming to start from their branches and to have mentors that are going to look after their critical analysis. We have one of the things I wanted to do before my time was cut off was the issue of mentorship. By the time you start giving the younger ones mentors that will help them grow in whatever thing they are doing, they are going to improve in the quality of service they are rendering. And finally, on the issue of charging high fees when they come for interview, my intention, with the permission of the president and the management and the council, is to work with the FNDPC on how they are going to provide other avenues of revenue so that the burden on the members will be reduced. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, ESV Wike. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you must agree with me that we have done quite a bit. And at this point, we are moving into the big one. But before we get to this, I would like to make an appeal. And that appeal is a request for one house. A request for us to please be attentive. It doesn't make sense that in this kind of serious business we are making noise. Those who are outside should also come in at this point. We are moving on to the position of president of council. And I would like to call on ESV Roland Abonta to please take the podium. As agreed, you have 15 minutes to present your manifesto, and then after that, 15 minutes to answer your questions. Thank you. Please, one house, please. Please, quiet. Thank you.
The chairman of moderators, noble colleagues, all other protocols observed. My name is Roland Enyinna Abonta. I am a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. I'm a member of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, and I work in the firm of Roland Abonta Co. as the managing partner. Today is a very good day because it's a day we need to set the tone for this profession in the next 2 years. And permit me to go straight to my vision. I have a vision that is anchored on 3 pillars. One of the pillars is that of quality leadership, and the other one is effective membership. The other one is professional ethics and standards. That's the anchor for my vision. And my vision talks about re-engineering and reformation of the institution, its structures, its system, and its processes. From the debates and discussions we have had here so far, there is great work to be done in that area. So my vision is to bring about re-engineering and reforms of the structures, system, and processes of the institution for repositioning of NIESV to fully achieve its set goals and objectives. As a professional association, which will include membership empowerment, include strict adherence to professional ethics and standards, include enlightenment of the general public on the roles of the estate surveyors and valuers. Simply put, changes and reforms takes place, structures and system and processes are reformed. We reposition NIESV to achieve its goals and objectives. Membership empowerment, reputable standards, ethics, and efficient service delivery. My agenda is derived from my 12 years of membership of council, starting from 2006 to date, and then my 8 years of being a member of management committee, serving 4 past presidents of our institution. This is an experience that cannot be overemphasized, that will help to move our institution forward. The following key agendas will be pursued under my leadership as the president of the institution: rebranding and reformation of NIESV, the structures and processes for public acceptability, efficient service delivery, and ensuring that people really accept the profession and the way it ought to be practiced. The development of a befitting national secretariat in Abuja is a must for us as a professional body. Those of us who are in Abuja knows that NIESV needs that secretariat for effective functioning and also to make the give the correct image of the institution as one of the foremost institutions in Nigeria. My intention is to consolidate the efforts of the past administrations, particularly our current administration, that have laid a foundation stone, and I am part of the team that planned up to that point. I need to be somebody that should midwife to the execution of that project. And also to evolve the use of partnership and joint ventures for the project. Because the problem we have suffered that made us unable to develop before now is that we have relied so much on our annual dues, subscriptions, and levies. But we are going to look at alternative options for funding projects like that as professionals in our right. Membership growth, empowerment, and welfare. I'm going to ensure that quality membership growth through improved academic curriculum for institutions of higher learning, interface between the private practitioners and the academia, structured internship training for both students and fresh graduates. I am going to collaborate with the NIESV to ensure that College of Estate Management is established properly during my tenure. A lot of work has been done, and I have been part of the committees that have been able to plan, and we are at the point of execution, point of implementation, and that's why I should be there to ensure that what we planned are executed. I am also going to encourage under empowerment of members through training and skills acquisition, there will be an enabling environment created so that our businesses will develop and new jobs, opportunities will be created for members. I'm not going to make promise that I'm going to create jobs for all surveyors, but I'm making a promise that I'm going to create enabling environment so that our members will have access to jobs. Then I'm going to encourage and motivate probationers to be registered through reduction of financial requirement for election. These have come up on this floor today. Because we have not diversified our economy or our funding, we still rely on levies and annual subscription. Number 4 is strategic public advocacy with both internal and external stakeholders in our sector and other related sectors of the economy for the protection of our professional areas of competence and membership rights through welfare. We are going to improve and synergize the working relationship between the institution and all 3 levels of government. I have a plan that when we assume office as president, I will be handling the federal government on issues of advocacy and relationship, while the first vice president will handle the state governments on issues of advocacy and relationship, while the second vice president will be dealing with the local governments on issues of interface. That is my arrangement for us to have a synergy and closer relationship with government. Wealth creation through diversification of the income generating sources of our institution by reactivating the NIESV venture. That was the business organ of this institution. It has been in moribund for a number of years, and I'm going to reactivate that organization and get appointed a chief executive officer and a board that will drive our business ideas. Establishment of efficient and sustainable research and development system for the profession as a means of ensuring sustainability and meeting with the challenges we face in practice. We need research, we need development. Strengthening the state branches structurally and financially to be able to function well, to perform their roles as the image of the institution at their various states. The first representative of the institution at branch level, at state level, is the branch. So if our branches are weak, then the national body definitely remains weak. Noble colleagues, I have experience both in private and in the public sector. I started my career in Niger State Housing Corporation and rose to the point of to the office of manager, real estate and mortgages. And of course, have also lectured in Federal University of Technology for 10 solid years, from 1996 to 2006. And in that period of time, I produced over 1,000 students that passed through that department in the courses that I taught. Some of the students are in the hall. Time will fail me to ask them to identify or former students in the hall that went through FUT. But let's not go there. Roland Abonta have worked assiduously as a private practitioner and have made sources of my practice. My colleagues who are in Abuja, who have interacted with me, will know that I have done creditably well in the area of practice. And so I have a stable practice. I am not starting a new practice. I have a practice that is running, and that practice will be able to sustain me while I devote the next days to serve our professional body. Noble colleagues, I have served the institution in diverse and many ways. I have a robust track record of service in our institution. First, I was member of the inauguration committee of Niger State Branch. I was secretary of Niger State Branch 1998 to 2002, branch chairman Abuja 2006 to 2008, assistant national secretary 2008 to 2010, national secretary 2010 to 2012, second vice president 2014 to 2016, And 2016, I became the first vice president of our great institution. All this came from your support and mandate, which I have not disappointed you in. Noble colleagues, a professional body needs consistency. A professional body needs stability. And changing without necessary reasons will really take us backwards. We need to move on. With all the experience I had with past presidents, I am going to bring quality value to our profession. And that's why I am here soliciting for the support you have continued to give me. Time will fail me to reel out a lot of ongoing projects. The IPSAS valuation in Nigeria is being driven by the presidency. We have set up committee, and my president have handed over some issues which I have been handling in respect of that. The issue of the development of the secretariat, we have gone a long way, which we need to implement effectively. And it's only the person who have been around, who knows how these things were planned, that will be able to do it. Achievements, particularly here in the city of Enugu. When I was national secretary, I established and brought to functionality the Enugu liaison office representing the southeast and the south-south. I spent over 1 week here as a mark of sacrifice. The then chairman is in this hall, he will bear witness. And then we furnished and equipped Enugu liaison office and recruited the staff who are still there today working because of the quality of staff we had. I was the one that laid the foundation of the Enugu Secretariat the day the foundation was laid on behalf of the president of our institution. I have been around here and I have contributed immensely, both in terms of official functioning and in terms of monetary contribution. I, as second vice president, created the zonal committees of the PPC, which have helped to reduce the usual piling of cases with PPC. I also formed the Chairman's Forum. Chairman's Forum is a place where branches lay bare their strengths, their weaknesses, and is being analyzed by other chairmen. And at the end of the day, solutions come from whatever it is, even before we go to the council. These are my contributions as second vice president. As first vice president, I did the first assessors training, which is about quality implementation. The restructuring of the critical analysis was done under my watch with the contribution of other members of the membership committee. Noble colleagues, definitely our institution is moving on. This is not a time to begin to dissipate energy, to begin to look for new hands for training. The presidency is an executive position, does not require any training. Your training comes when you become second vice, first vice. You must have accumulated enough experience to be able to lead the institution. It is a position of authority. It is not a position for learning. It is a position of implementation, and it's not a position for preparation. Preparation has been done at the second vice level and at the first vice president level. Having satisfied the conditions I have so far stated, noble colleagues, your continuous mandate and support is what will take this institution to the next level. I therefore ask of you to please continue in your usual way to support me. Let me make a note that it is because of you I have not failed any single election in NIESV. It is the support and the grace of God upon my life. Thank you as you continue in that support. God bless you.
Thank you so much, ESV Roland Abonta. ESV Sir Roland Abonta. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, noble colleagues, may I now call to the podium Sir GTN Tabansi. Thank you. ESV GTN Tabansi. Hold on, I think the projector is off. Okay, it's on now.
Good evening, noble colleagues. I beg to stand on existing protocols. I want to sincerely thank God for opportunity of this nature, and I want to thank and congratulate the electoral committee that have come up with this opportunity to talk to you, and particularly to thank you, my noble colleagues, who have tried everything possible to be present. To me, it is a mark of interest to the growth.
Please, can you sit down for us to get this done?
Thank you.
Take your seats, please.
I am the Sir G.T.N. Tabansi, Estate Surveyor and Valuer, a fellow of the institution. I have worked all my life in the public service. For 32 years, it was full of struggle, professional struggle, and I thank God that there are track records. I have decided at this time to come to give you my usual humble service. Because for me, there is a time and there is a season. And when you have a call for duty, it's only right that you make every attempt necessary to obey the call. I desire to come into the leadership of this institution at this time to bring about the core values of my life over the years, which I exhibited at all levels of leadership position I've held, both in the public service and in the society. And those core values are integrity, availability for service, accountability, transparency, humility. Humility is very important in any service for any leader. Because leadership is not about words, it's about action. And particularly our institution has an arrangement of teamwork. Without humility, it is difficult to lead a team. I have the character of selfless service and honesty. I have come, having looked at the institution, and I dare say that despite the laudable growth and achievements the institution has recorded since inception some 48 years ago, for which I heartily congratulate our founding fathers, the past and present administration, and of course the entire membership. Because without membership support, oftentimes the laudable achievement we accredit to ourselves wouldn't be there. I congratulate the past. But I have discovered that even at that growth we are making, and the achievement we are making, there are still basic needs that the profession requires. And I list them as follows. Creating and sustaining opportunities to the youth and young firms to be profitably engaged. We must do everything to ensure that when we have qualified our professional colleagues, they don't walk around the street. They must be profitably engaged. Increasing the public awareness of the profession and our visibility in government at all levels. It is very necessary and key. Creating more opportunities for training and retraining of members, both in the public and in the private sector. I want to bring this blend of public sector in the leadership because oftentimes the public is ignored. And everything that happens in Nigeria economy, without the bureaucracy, it does not move. So the experience and knowledge ought to be transferred equally on the public sector as we do for the private sector. Then encouraging, in fact ensuring specialization, creation of mega firms, and operation of consortiums in our practice. We need it. And that will be area that will enable the young firms to have job to do. Then fighting the obvious incursions of all sorts that is bedeviling our practice at the moment. These are areas of need. Getting the CAC to approve amendments to our constitution. This area we may think is nothing, but it has affected us because the only constitution that CAC have approved for us was done in 2005 when I was Assistant National Secretary. I was part of that. Since 2012 and possibly recently 2014, we have tried amendment and we're even operating one of the amendments in terms of 2 years council membership. But it has not been approved by CAC. Very important. Ensuring high and best practices, adherence to ethics and discipline. Having observed this, and what is the yearning of the membership, I therefore have a vision to have an institution that would grow in membership, knowledge acquisition, professionalism, taking the leadership that belongs to the profession in the real estate sector and in the economy generally, internationally and locally. And my vision is to pursue programs that will strengthen the weak points of the institution chain in terms of knowledge acquisition, access to job opportunities to every member and firm, and general welfare, having regard to ensuring ethics, discipline, and standard. My dear noble colleagues, you will agree with me that we urgently need the effects of collaborative working with government to reposition our institution at this time. And with me at the helm of affairs, I think this will be better achieved because of my obvious antecedent, which I will clearly state later. Then what is my strategies? My strategies to achieve this vision and mission and resolve the problems enumerated that have needs include upholding the tenets of our Constitution. When the Constitution is properly approved, we uphold the tenets of the Constitution and we pursue to achieve all the aims and the objectives. Also, continuity is very important, and I pledge as a strategy to continue all good programs and projects of the past, present administrations. All the projects that have been started are properly, if the administration is doing well, documented. And I have worked with the institution for such a long time and at different capacities that there is no experience I do not have in continuing any project. And the experience I have in the public sector at directorate level and management level will be an advantage. So we will continue all the projects. And then the issue that bothers the institution most is advocacy.
One house, please.
Please, can I have water? Can I have water? Yes, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
The greatest problem of
Let's have your attention.
The institution is the issue of advocacy. And having been in the management and in the council for many years, I have noted that our advocacy is not achieving results because we need an approach that I have called bottom-top approach. And that is, will be focusing one on the fact that we need to identify the mandates of MDAs, the mandate of sectors, and be able to identify the place we are and the expertise we need to give them to be able to achieve their mandate. And then determine the manning level we require in such organizations to be able to achieve the mandate of the organization in the area of our professional expertise. And when these documents are prepared, you will now engage from bottom the schedule officers, the desk officers, move it to the management before you get to honorable minister or the board, as the case may be. With that, we will be able to institutionalize our institution in the governance. So that is the approach I will do. And for that reason, I will encourage all the faculties and to prepare a document and all other committees, relevant committees, we will prepare a document that will be heading estate surveyor and valuers and various sectors. It will be a pamphlet we will mass produce and we will use it at every advocacy. And that will help people to have a handy document in their own sector and MDAs to know exactly what we have to do. Then we will have program, radio, TV, and print media's discussion on the profession and other topical issues. We will be very proactive in attending to all matters that affect the economy and will always speak as time requires. Then we will have a proactive collaboration with other professionals. It's no longer a question of waiting when you go to court. You initiate discussions so that you'll be able to have mutual respect for your practices. And then by so doing, we'll be fighting incursions. We will create a strong legislative desk at the Secretariat, and this legislative desk, in liaison with established National Assembly contact we would have made, be able to monitor all bills and motions that affect us. What is happening?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sir GTN Tabansi. Thank you very much, sir.
Huh? Time already.
15 minutes. Yes, sir. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, question time. I see a lot of hands. Yes, the lady.
Every protocol duly observed. My question goes to the second.
Can you introduce yourself?
NIESV, Antonia Akani, Ebony chairperson. Sir, you said you have a call, and that is why you are coming out. I want to know why now. You equally acknowledged all the achievements that have been made by the past regime. What can you now do now to add to it? How do you encourage young surveyors? We would like to know. You were talking as an envelope. We want to know in clear terms what you intend doing to encourage the young surveyors. You were able to mention some of the weak points as knowledge, discipline, and standards. How can you improve on these weak points? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. Hello. Move the microphone there.
I've introduced myself before. The question goes to the two candidates. You know, if you look at the institution now, you will discover. All right, my name is Osato Osawaye, fellow, chairman of the Faculty of Plant and Equipment, the foremost faculty in the institution. Yes. Yes. If you look at the level of awareness, the question goes to the two candidates of our profession in this economy now. It looks as if it is retrogressive, considering what it used to be like when we were doing industrial attachment in Knight Frank in the 85, 86, 87, and we saw the quality of partners and surveyors, the caliber of men that practiced, and the knowledge of the profession of estate management. Then, in our government circles, in our private sector, is ripe than what it is right now. The paucity of knowledge of the decision makers about the role of an estate surveyor and valuer is appalling. So what are you going to do, gentlemen, to put our profession back in the rightful place it belongs? My opinion is that even the leadership of our nation is characterized by mediocre. And that is what is translated in their ignorance of the role of land economists. So we need to blow our trumpet. And we want to know what you are going to do along those lines, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Chairman of Session. My name is Kajeta Nohiri. I remain the chairman of Imo branch. I am particularly interested in the presidency, and that's why I want to throw this question to the two contestants. I want to know how you intend to carry the membership of the branches. We had earlier discussed here that most of the branches are on life support. And the reason is that many branches cannot fund most of their programs. Me as Imo branch chairman, I have been a victim of spending money that is supposed to be refunded by the national body, and the executive insisted up till now, to the chagrin of my members. If you now come up and we are trying to encourage these branches that are the grassroots from where we make up whatever thing we do at the national, how do you intend to support these branches? And will you be able to equally pay back what Imo is still crying out till today to, to be able to bounce back to life? Thank you.
Take the microphone to the back. Yes.
I wish to observe all the protocol.
Dr. Chris.
Dr. Chris Ezodo. Then, one of the candidates mentioned that you have a liaison office, one of the liaison offices in Enugu. I want to ask, what efforts are they making, both candidates, to ensure that these liaison offices are strengthened? And again, to ask, will they at this time restore the vehicle that was given to the zonal office at initial time? Right now, there are a lot of logistics problems. There was a mention that it will move to the sector in Abuja. The NIE is having its own building. Again, what are the plans they are making? Enugu is one of the liaison offices. You have Enugu, you have Kaduna, you have Lagos. In Lagos, Lagos is on the property of the NIESV, whether branch or national. But here in Enugu, it's still rented. And they have our sister profession like surveyors, NIS, Nigerian Institution of Surveyors. They have their property, almost all the branches. And my question now is, both candidates talk on IGR, generation of revenue, whether IGR or external. How will they lay efforts to ensure that these liaison offices are sustained? Not everything. People keep on going to Abuja for little services. So how you give us your proposal, how to strengthen the liaison, to reduce the traffic on our national sector? Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening, noble colleagues. My name is Muhammad Faisal Bello. My question goes to Sir ESV GTN Tabansi. During the Abuja manifestos, you mentioned something about creation of Office of the Valuer General of the Federation. Can you please emphasize and let us know more importance that will give us in the institution? Thank you.
Can you come forward, please?
Hello. Just give it to no.
Thank you, sir. My name is Adekunle Awolaja, a fellow of the institution and a non-official member of council. My questions goes to the two contestants. The two of them were my boss at one time or the other as national secretary of the institution. Now, the secretariat of the institution is, I will not use the term life support, but is not living up. So my question, fortunately the national secretary, Constanta, is not here, but my question is, how are they going to now restore the secretariat back? That's number one. Number two is, we have some bodies or agencies, such as NIESV Ventures. Seems to hear one of them talking about NIESV Ventures. How do we reinvigorate NIESV Ventures? We have not had
an AGM of NIESV Ventures for almost 4 years now. And nobody knows what NIESV Ventures is doing. NIESV Ventures, NIESV Foundation, NIESV Research and Development. These are the arm that NIESV has. But we've not even had the sitting of NIESV Foundation for almost 10 years. So how are we going to bring back this? Then the third and final one is, how do we take back our leadership role in the built industry? Considering the challenges that we have now, facility management we are fighting it. Valuation, P&E with the engineers, we are still fighting it. Real estate agency, we are on it. Property development. So, how are we going to get this back? These are questions meant for the two of you. Thank you.
Too many of them. Biko, one last question, please. One last question. Give it to him, yes. One last question, please. Gentlemen, we can't...
My name is Estes Obiambalo Akule Adedeji, the National Chairman of Association of Estate Agents in Nigeria, midwifed by Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. My question goes to the two of them. How do you bring government and the end users of our products to our doorstep? Thank you.
Thank you. May I call on... Can you take the microphone to ESV, Elias or Vessel? Take the microphone to... Just one more question, please. Yes. To ESV, Elias or Vessel. Thank you.
My chairman, noble colleagues, my question is to the two contestants for the first position. We are here now talking about what we tend to do or what we might not do. My question is, they should tell this house, which constitution are we using in this institution now? Because that is the foundation of whatever we are doing. Which constitution are we operating? If it's 2005, why are we doing election every 2 years? If 2012, is it now registered? And if it's not registered, what is the implication? Thank you.
Hello? Please be seated. I want to take that. That question is not for here. Please.
So please, can I call on ESV Sir Roland Abonta to please take the questions.
Thank you very much. The first question talks about our profession seems to be retrogressing due to lack of awareness. And then the question is, what will you do to put the institution in the right position? My manifesto prescribed some steps we want to take. One of that steps is engagement of the government at all levels, where responsibility have been shared to the three arms of government, three arms of the presidency. The president will be focusing on getting the government to be aware of what we do and the responsibility we have in the national economy. While the first vice will be dealing with state governments on issues of advocacy and relationship. And then the second vice will be dealing with the local government. You may ask me why local government. All the tiers of government have areas of assignment and work for us. And so many local governments do
maintain valuation offices and estate offices. So we are going to take all of them together, and we are going to create the awareness. I am one of those who believes in shouting on top of the roof for the people to know that we exist. And I'm not going to spare anything on advocacy and issues of enlightenment. We are going to engage strategically external and internal stakeholders in our profession. The external stakeholders will include the lawyers, the judiciary, they will include the accountants, they will include the bankers. We need to get them to understand the services we offer and how much advantage or value we can add to the operation. That way, the issue of retrogression in our profession will be checked. The other one asks, how do you intend to carry the membership of the branches? And how do you want to support the branches? The branches, like I've said, without the branches, there will be no national. The effective participation of members are recorded at the branch level, while the membership of the members lies with the national body. The truth is that there are opportunities that some chairmen do not know. Because I've been around the management for quite a long time, there is this provision of paying 100,000 naira to every branch that was able to organize a program in a year. As I stand, I do not know how many times in management we have received application from branch chairmen. So branch chairmen here, tell your colleagues, if there are programs they have run in the previous year that have not been paid, they should apply for it. I also intend that for you to be nationally financial up to date, your branches must authenticate that you also financially up to date in the branches. We see a situation where people leave their branches and run to national, and then they are pre-qualified for appointment to committees and other things, while the branches do not know them. I am going to insist under my watch that you must be financially standing in your branches before you will be given any proper recognition at the national level. And we are going to do that. What efforts are they making to ensure that the liaison office in Enugu is strengthened and sustained? And then those questions of vehicles withdrawal. The present chairman, the past chairman, the past chairman of the Enugu branch will agree that I have passionate interest in Enugu branch. Not because I'm an Igbo man, but because the zone or the area that liaison office ought to serve is much, much larger in number. It is this liaison office that covers Southeast, covers the whole of South. So my interest, the standard of furnishing and equipment we did to that branch, to that liaison office, was equivalent with Lagos liaison office. But over the years, something have gone wrong. And under my watch, whatever have gone wrong must be rectified. That branch will be strong. Again, that liaison office will be strong as it ought to be. Again, let me also give information to Enugu State Branch. The National have partnered with several branches to complete their project. And I know that the Enugu State Branch have put their building up to a decking level or have even decked and gone beyond there. I want to invite you to seek for partnership with the National so that that project will be completed and the question of being in a rented apartment in Enugu will be a forgotten event. I assure you that under my watch as the leader and as the president of this institution, we will participate with the branch to bring to fruition that lofty project which I laid the foundation some years ago. What effort? I think number 4 is for Sir GTN, creation of Office of Evaluator General. But let me give information. I'm not going to answer the question. The information is that creation have reached an advanced level. As I speak to you, the president, the first vice, and other council members made and paid a courtesy call to both head of service. I also joined the APBN representing the institution to pay a courtesy visit to the head of service. The head of service told us to do an application which should be passed to the National Establishment Committee of the nation, where all the heads of services of the nation come together. And that application has been done, and we have followed and monitored it to advanced level. We are sure that our case is gazetted as one of the agenda they are going to discuss in their meeting this particular February. We are hopeful. The only thing we lack is that we have not done enough lobbying. But the management is on top of it. We will do all the necessary lobbying to have a Valuer General Office created in our nation and in all states of the Federation. Chairman or branches present here will bear me witness that the National have assigned them to follow up with their own state heads of service. And I believe that at the end of the day, we will achieve a result. That is by way of information. The Secretariat of the institution is not living up to expectation. 3 questions in one. How to restore the Secretariat back? How do we reinvigorate NIESV Venture, NIESV Foundation, and all that? And then finally, that question that came, how do we take back our leadership role in the Committee of Professional Bodies? Let me say that the restoration of the Secretariat comes under my... In the past, we have past leaders who have employed their people, their nephews, their sisters, their in-laws, without them passing through proper interview or assessment. So the place became a dumping ground to help people to work. But under my watch, appraisals will be done, and if you cannot perform your work, you will be given opportunity to train and become useful. If you now fail, you will be shown the way out, so that we will have a functional secretariat. It rubs off on all of us. So there is no emotion or sentiment of family members or relations working in the secretariat. I can assure you, sir, that under my watch, proper appraisals will be done, proper reforms and re-engineering will be done to make the state secretariat functional. How do we take back our leadership role in Committee of Professional Association, particularly in area of doing our work? Through enlightenment, through advocacy, through engagement. We have identified in the other retreat and even in the Benin retreat that there are stakeholders in this profession. Before we hold our hands and we want to exclude every other person. But this is the right time to do inclusiveness. There is nothing wrong with 1 or 2 non-members of the institution, but who belongs to the other antagonistic professional bodies being members of our board. We will try to re-engineer our structures such that they will become functional and friendly with other professional bodies. How do you bring government and end users for our product? Well, I have already talked about the sharing of responsibilities for different levels of government, and I believe when we do that, engagement of government is a serious business, and it is a steady and continuous process. I was a civil servant for over 12 years, rose to the rank of a manager, real estate, which is equivalent of assistant director or deputy director in the public service. But I know that insider cannot do the work of getting the government to be active to help us. But I also want to plead with public servants, that they should be open to the private sector and enter into partnership with us for their own good, because you have a permanent address, and that permanent address is private practice. Let's not treat ourselves as enemies to each other, because that will not work. We need engagement and we need political will, and that is one of the qualities members of this institution will bear witness. I exhibit at the highest places. Thank you very much
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Which constitution, sir? Sorry, one more question. Let me enlighten us.
Excuse me.
When my candidates.
No.
Okay.
No, I put that question down. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Sir Roland Abonta. So may I call on ESV GTN Tabansi to do justice to the questions. Gentlemen, please, let's have one house. Let's have one house, please. This is the high point of what
my
we are
noble
here
colleague, questions were put to me by the chairman of Ebonyi. He said, how will I help the young surveyors, and how will I improve knowledge? The improvement of knowledge in the institution was part of what I said, that we are going to do training and retraining at all stages, and we are going to think of the NIESV ventures, and it will be focused on the public sector, and that is the area, if we focus, we will even be able to make money out of the vote of training of the civil servants. And then the young ones, we will encourage job sourcing. And the area of job sourcing we are saying is that when we go to BPP and other relevant MDAs, we will be able to argue out waiver for these bid requirements, so that it will be easy for the young ones to bid, because as professionals there are areas of the bid requirements we ought to have argued out and given a waiver. So these are one of the areas. Then the knowledge and the practice that are regressing is obvious. The problem is that right from the institution of learning globally in Nigeria, standards are falling. But the effort that are being made through the faculties, strengthening the faculties to make sure that training programs at affordable cost, and then organizing MCPDs that will be thoroughly aimed at our needs, practice needs, and it will be organized and coordinated nationally, so that every branch will key in a manner that whatever is being done at one branch would able to attract other members if it does not clash. The same thing with the faculty. So we would continue to support the institutions, and then work in liaison with ESVABON to ensure that the standards are being maintained. Of course, we will encourage members to continue to obtain personal improvement, and you will find that the particular area you mentioned, that the public sector, the executives, and even the president leadership, political leadership, they do not understand us. That is why I am saying that we need to do aggressive advocacy, be able to prepare pamphlets on all aspects of our practice and expertise, and make it a public document anywhere, and be able to educate relevant schedule officers in the MDAs who will last for a while. The way we normally go to the minister, and when you finish talking with the minister, next year the minister is removed. All the advocacy is packed up. But when you get the directors and permanent secretaries to understand our relevancies in their MDAs, it will last for a while, and it can give us relevance. Then how do you carry the membership body of the branch? If we do proper advocacy, if we get younger surveyors, and if we advocate on federal, state, and local government, and if we are able to source, like part of my program is that we will find areas and programs we can partner with government. That partnership can be at federal, state, and local government. And once we succeed in one partnership, the government will recognize us and we'll begin to have jobs. And then when we practice, yes. So, but it is necessary equally to know that council has already approved. Council in its sitting recently approved that payments of the branch will be a condition for clearing you at national. So it is a matter of implementing council decision. It's not a matter of starting it afresh. It has already been done. And that will help the branch. Then another question is, how do we maintain Enugu State Liaison Office? Of course, this is my home branch. And my idea is that cost effectiveness and proper budgeting will place every liaison office need on the platform where it ought to be. And of course, you will get special attention, not because I'm from here, but because the coverage you have is quite much. The protection of the profession. The protection of the profession is all about advocacy. It means, one, we must improve on every person's standard. When a chain is weak at different points, then the strength of the chain is limited. But if we make sure that virtually all members are practicing at the correct standard, you will find that you'll be able to ward off certain incursions. And of course, I've said we will do proactive collaboration with even the competing professionals. And then we'll be able to have mutual respect. And then when the government, we institutionalize our practice in the government, and then we'll be able to have a say. And other professionals will not be able to take our jobs. Then the other question that was put to me personally, which of course my colleague aspirant has tried to say something. The truth is that the curation has a system. And then that system is that if you do not get to people who prepare this document. I've been in Council of Works and Housing. The decision will be taken at directorate level, PAMSEC level, and then the minister's level. If you do not follow up properly with the secretariat, you may have the decision in your favor changed. So it is somebody that has ability and knowledge and background to follow up who will be better positioned to get out that. And the importance of it is that when you get Valuer General of the Federation, Valuer General of the state, they are positions that can protect the profession. They have a say in governance at the executive level, and they will be respected. So they will be part of protecting the profession. So we need that position very immediately. And that I will quickly do if and when I am elected. Of course, for the secretariat, yes, I have observed the secretariat for quite a while because I am there and I continue to do. So what I will do quickly is to set a proper target for each and every staff with a view to giving real-time service delivery to members, and then observing transparency and accountability. Oftentimes, some of us that are principal officers interfere with the target setting, and our attitude to them make them not to be able to represent us effectively even when they can know it. So I will make sure that they are trained and retrained, and of course at every appraisal that we have I'm used to doing in the federal service, you'll be able to place somebody where he's supposed to be, and then we'll get real service. Then another question came: how are you The question is, how are you going to get the government, which are the major users of our services, to our doorsteps? All is about advocacy. If we are proactive, we'll be able to discover areas of our services and discuss with the management proactively. And directly government begin to give us all that is due to us, there will be increase of our members in the government, there will be increase of flow of job. One important thing we must do is that we must decide to relate with the public sector as equals. Oftentimes, the private sector relate with the public sector as non-equals. And then they have a reason, most often what they do. I have been there, and I have experienced, having set up my practice last 2 years, I've tried to go for a job, I've tried to know what is the problem. But I am saying that because possibly I do not have too much practice to do now, it gives me an opportunity to develop all my time. Devote all my time for the service, because I am just free and available, and I can take the institution back to government where I have belonged. And I was very effective there. Questions can be asked. So, noble colleague, what I am saying is that this time around, we need the collaborative working with government, because the economy of Nigeria is a function of your relationship with the governance. And when we achieve this, which I am in a position to give, now I am on the outside, having come from the inside, we will be able to take over all our lost grounds. So I think that it is not a matter of saying that all the experience that is required to execute the presidency is integrity, honesty, selflessness, and teamwork, spirit of teamwork, and humility. If you don't have this, you may have all the words and all the knowledge, but in action, because you need human beings to work with you. If you can't walk through in leadership, if you are not able to work with human beings, you will not achieve whatever ideas you have put to us. I think SSOB and Valua, Sir GT and Tabansi, I am the right person for this position at this time, because I am available and I have integrity, and I have been honest in all my dealings for those who come around, and whatever that we desire to get from government, I know the functionings, I know the system, I still have my colleagues in there. All these things will be achieved with minimal expenses, given the humility with which I will pursue every bit of the assignment and responsibility of the President of Nigeria Institution of Estate Surveyor as enshrined in the Constitution. And by the way, I have promised that we will get the Constitution properly registered with CAC so that we don't have challenge over our decisions. Thank you, my noble colleague. Vote GTN Tabas, and you will see a change in relationship both with the branch, both with all the committees, and all that. So another question is the issue of faculty. Of course, we know that faculty is the anchor for professionalism and which we are gunning for. So every
Hello, please, who is that man? Will you get back to your seat? Don't be unruly.
The faculty that are already set up and are working will be supported seriously, because that is the only anchor we have to even face the challenges of incursion, because they will bring professionalism, they will bring specialization, and that is what we need at this time.
Thank you so much, Sir GTN.
Thank you.
Thank
and
you
God
very
bless
much, sir.
Nigeria Institution of Estate Surveillance and Value.
Thank you very much, and well done.
Noble colleagues, it's 8 o'clock. We primed to end at 8. It is done, an exciting session. 4 clear hours of excitement without rancor. On behalf of the moderating team, I want to thank the electoral team, the secretary, for a very good evening. This evening has enabled us to place faces on names we've been hearing. I'm meeting Abonta for the first time today. Yes, you saw me in FCD. I was director of estates. 1984. I put together the Abuja branch. 1986. I also was a lecturer at University of Nigeria from 1974. That is why I'm talking boldly, because I see most of my students here, including this, everybody. And everybody here told them. So you're very, very welcome. I want to make an appeal. I served, as I said, as chairman Enugu State Branch, 1991 to 95. Most of my peer group are no longer active. I don't know who dusted me up to serve in this committee. Whoever did that, please, can the institution dust back all the old quacks like me? Not because we are vibrant, but because we have a store of knowledge, history, which can benefit the existing groups. We will not throw away our history as Nigeria threw away its history. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to wish all of you what they now call journeying mercies, but it's not good English. I want to wish you safe journey. That is English. Mr. Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Where is the Enugu State Chairman? Please, can Enugu State Chairman come and...
No, before that, I think there are some announcements.
Like, look at life. No, we've had life. That's what I'm calling by who? Okay. Electoral committee.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, our moderators. Yes, please, without wasting too much of our time, let me call on Estate Surveyor and Valuer Alejandro Erabo to come and give us the vote of thanks.
Chairman of the moderating team, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me stand on all other existing protocols. The chairman of today's session has virtually done the vote of thanks. What else is there to say? Than to say, all of us have displayed nobility and discipline. May we continue in this spirit of camaraderie that is building up, and we can only but look forward for excellence. Thank you everyone for your time, for your patience to have run thus far. We wish everyone safety to your various destinations and look forward to a better turnout in Lagos, which is the last leg of this grand initiative that is setting the tune for a greater performance and posting the Nigerian institution of estate surveyors and valuer in a different pedestal. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Irabo Ehondo. The next thing on the program is the announcement, and ESV Ademola Otola will do that one for us. Announcement.
Noble colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the announcement is just about the last leg of this manifesto event. We are moving down to Lagos, and the venue is the Event Center Limited, opposite Fela Shrine. It's located along Akim Balogun Street. That's CBD, Alausa area. And it's taking place on Wednesday, which is 31st of January 2018. The time is between 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Please, we are expecting all of you, and we pray that God Almighty will continue to strengthen you as we go up and down for the upliftment of this particular institution. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ademola Otutola. The next thing on the agenda is the closing prayer. And I want to call that iron lady, Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Angelica Agome, to come and lead us in the closing prayer. Over to you, madam. I will give it to you.
Good evening once again, my senior and noble colleagues. Please let us rise for the closing prayer. Please let us recite the second stanza of our national anthem.